asked me to do it, I said, okay. And I just didn't have any, qualms about it. But then my friends were all saying, why did you do that? Don't do it. Don't do it. Mother and son, that's very bad, Then I got nervous. But actually, my first instinct was right. It was very good.
On your website, which is called Imagine Peace, you wrote a lovely essay actually about making this record with Sean, and you describe something that happened while you were taking a nap in the studio. Can you tell that story?
And it was a very strange thing that happened because we take turns to sort of lie down on the couch, because it's just a long night or something. So I was on the couch, sort of closing my eyes, and then suddenly somebody put a coat on me,
As a blanket.
As a blanket. And John used to do that when we were making Double Fantasy. So it's just in my sort of like sleepy head, I wasn't sure whether he said, well, that was John, but and I just opened my eyes and it was Sean.
Which is
which is amazing. Exactly the same army surplus coat, but John's was a little bit softer and Sean's was a little bit harder, I think.
And he's now as old as John was when you got together, I guess.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. That's true. It's amazing.
Were there funny moments while you were working on this record?
Well, I mean, there were all sorts of moments. So what are you talking about?
Well, was it all serious business, or did you become the mother and say, no, Sean, I don't want to do that?
Well, I try not to be too difficult, but I'm a very difficult person.
Really?
Well, yeah, and then in terms of my work, artwork and music work, I'm a perfectionist in a way. But this time I thought, no, I'm not going to be that control freak because, I have to let him breathe too, and try to be like a Zen master or something, one of those sort of, okay, I'm beyond that kind of thing. But, well, I got away with it.
The title track of the album, Between My Head and the Sky, is pretty rocking.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
But you see, I thought of that and I thought, good title.
Let's listen a little bit to that song.
Okay.
That's Yoko Ono's Between My Head and the Sky. As soon as that begins and you do your ululating thing that one instantly recognizes as Yoko Ono, it made me think, when did that become a sort of signature vocal thing of yours, and why?
When I was when I was very little, I was sort of plunked in my mother's summer house or something, and there was a servant's quarter, and my mother said, never go to a servant's quarter because they'll be talking about something that you should not know. And of course you want to go there, when somebody says that. So I sneaked up, and there were two young girls talking about my aunt just had a baby, and she was going, and it was really frightening. And I never forgot that sound. And I was thinking, well, the male society is always sort of asking women to be pretty young and sweet, and the voice in the songs usually is very sweet, but then I thought that we're the ones who actually created a human race. I mean, without us, we won't be here. Excuse me.
Vice versa.
Well, not really.
Really? You can do it without us?
I think so.
Okay. Well.
But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about
But that's where that was the genesis of that.
Yeah, and I thought I want to really break, the sound barrier to show that the women has a strong voice too. If we didn't have a strong voice, I mean, we couldn't have created the human race.
Right. Your work keeps on influencing people. So artists like the B-52s, Sonic Youth. On this record of yours, you worked with these super cool Japanese musicians,
They're really super cool.
Yuka Honda and Cornelius.
Oh yes. Oh, by the way, I just want to go back to it and say,
Uh-huh.
no, I didn't mean that we don't need men. I think it's nice to have men around.
Good. I'm glad you conceded that.
Okay.
Two very cutting-edge female musicians, Cat Power and Peaches, have done remixes of your songs. As that happens, does it make you think about the experience of a woman artist today, women of their age versus when you started out?
Well, the thing is, the women's plight, so to speak, is still there. And I go to all the different countries, and they usually say, would you please come to the women's meeting? And I do go, and it's really a very serious problem still,
Right.
especially in the Middle East. And I think that the reason is because there's a strong backlash.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's listen to the Peaches remix of Kiss, 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 which was originally on your 1980 album with John Lennon, Double Fantasy. That's Kiss, 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 you and Peaches. What do you think of her version?
I think it's great. What I did then was kind of pretty good then, but I think that this is newer. It's very nice.
Yeah. That record of remixes is called Yes, I'm a Witch.
Yes.
Which makes me think you have a good sense of humor about the crap and flack you've taken over the years.
Yeah, I just feel like saying, yes, I'm a witch, because they were really trying to persecute me and put me on a cross. So I said, well, okay, so I am a witch.
Your art installation piece called Wish Tree has now been shown at galleries all over the world. Tell me about that.
Wish tree is just a tree, and you just write your wish, and put it on the tree, you see. And it's a very
like that. In Japan, I've seen that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
When you go to a temple and you pay 10 yen, you get a little paper that says, love will be given to you, money will be given to you, and long life will be given to you or something. And it's all printed, And you take that and you just put it on the bush. Now, I thought it's much nicer. It's a huge, beautiful tree, and you're free of what you want to write. And once when I did in Spain, all these people of that town who never been to a museum before would never enter a museum because they think, oh, it's something
fancy and
yeah. And all the sort of working class people all lined up to put the wishes on the tree. And that's when I created the Imagine Peace Tower.
Uh-huh.
And all the wishes go to the Imagine Peace Tower.
So they're not just tossed out?
No, they're not tossed out.
On Between My Head and the Sky, there are some dance songs, but most of the music is pretty thoughtful and low-key. I want to play an example. This is called Unanto.
Unanto, yes.
Let's listen.
In a day, sometimes I feel so much love for the world. Think my heart is bursting. Sometimes I feel so scared. I want to shrink myself even further. Don't ever give up on life. Life can be so beautiful, especially after you spend a lot of years with it. Because then, life becomes like a lover you have been close to. You know him so well, and yet every day he gives you a surprise. When you say I love you, remember you're not just saying it to the one you love. You're saying to yourself, the planet, and the universe.
That's a very lovely and wise lyric. Where did that? Well, tell me where that song came from.
Just between my head and the sky.
Yeah. Out of your hat.
Out of my hat, right? Unto.
And what are you working on right now?
I'm now working on talking to you.
I appreciate that. Yoko Ono, thank you very much.
It was nice talking to you.
Yoko Ono, one-woman show, 1960 to 1971, is up at New York's Museum of Modern Art through September. Another godmother of performance art from the generation just after Yoko Ono is Marina Abramovich, who recently, in her 60s, has become a household name. A decade ago, before she was famous, before she'd had a MoMA show, before you had to be Jay-Z or James Franco to hang around with her, our interest was piqued by something she was doing in a gallery outside Boston. Abramovich had an exhibit at the Rose Museum about dreams as a communal experience. At its center was a piece called The Dream Bed. You were supposed to lie down, nap, and then record your dreams. We sent reporter Sean Cole to give it a try.
Check 1, 2, 3. I'm worried that I'm gonna get to the museum and that I'm not gonna dream anything. Moreover, what if I can't even fall asleep? So we'll see what happens. I recorded that around midnight, the night before I got into the dream bed. Then I went to sleep and dreamt nothing, not that I remember. The next day, I went over to the museum, still worrying. Curator Rafaela Plato did her best to be sympathetic.
I wish I could take the pressure off of you. I can only tell you, try to relax. If you don't sleep, you don't sleep. But maybe you will, daydream a little bit, or...
Does that count?
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
We all dream in one way or another, Plato says, which is the point of the exhibit, that the dream world is communal, and that there's a blurrier border between waking and dreaming than we might think. Abramovich's dream bed is just one angle on those ideas. Plato also showed me a room with 200 red silk lanterns hanging from the ceiling, shaped like stars and missiles and TVs and laptops. A dream-time take on the clash between communism and capitalism in China. She says artists and dream researchers alike are moving away from the Freudian idea of dreams.
From the notion that dreams represent internal truth only. They are also mirrors of societies and of political, social, and cultural events that happen around us.
One piece features a distorted recording of George W. Bush talking about the Abu Ghraib scandal. The sound is straight out of a nightmare. In the room next to that piece is the dream bed. It's really more of a no-frills coffin without a lid. Where the pillow should be is a block of snowflake obsidian crystal, which is supposed to prevent nightmares. An assistant named Nadia was there to help me into my jammies. A puffy, feather-stuffed jumpsuit, complete with a hood, mittens, and booties.
So you get the jumpsuit, you get headphones, and glasses.
Headphones like you wear on a shooting range. The glasses are totally opaque. The jumpsuits actually have magnets sewn into them, which Abramovich believes will increase blood flow to the brain. Still, there was something distinctly Big Bird about the whole affair.
It's like I'm getting into a big Muppet costume.
So let's lead you to the bed.
Gingerly, I climbed into the dream bed, the box, and lay my head on the block of obsidian. The jumpsuit was warm, like being hugged all over by soft rabbits. I spent the first several minutes fidgeting, trying to get as comfortable as possible. I could still hear the drone of the Bush speech through my headphones. Suddenly, I was an illustration of the idea that dreams are linked with the outside world. I mean, here I was attempting to dream in a public space. People may have even been coming and going as I lay there. It's really more of a happening than an installation. Marina Abramovich says the exhibit isn't the bed, it's the dreams themselves.
I think the dreams is like a small art piece, In the dream, everything's possible. You can in 1 second be in Hong Kong and another second in the moon, And in a way, you have to be more conscious about that to share with other people and experience.
Abramovich told me that the dream bed is just part of a larger project, an entire dream house she built in Japan. People sleep there overnight and record their dreams in a dream book the next morning. Abramovich plans to collect 50 or 60 of the books into a public dream library. Of course, dreaming is a lot easier when you have a whole night to work at it in a private room, whereas I was just lying in the middle of a museum exhibit. After a while, though, my mind started to drift, and I thought I heard voices. And then I began to discern a long, low, rumbling sound, like an engine idling in both of my ears. It took a moment to figure out what it was. It was me. I was snoring. When the hour was up, Nadia tapped me awake, and I walked back into the dressing room and scribbled a few lines in the diary. Something like, I was really self-conscious lying down, I didn't think I would fall asleep, eventually I woke up snoring, etc., etc. I read like a treatment for a Woody Allen movie, especially compared to this one dream I found in the book.
From time to time, I was visited by a small girl. She had cool hands on my sweaty hands. She looked and looked at me.
She had a red sweater and black hair, large eyes, small heart face. I knew I could hear her breath. Once I thought she showed me a white bed.
This is Mary Novotny Jones, a performance artist. She actually teaches Marina Abramovich's work to college students in Boston. She understood the communal idea of the piece right away, picturing the dreamers that went before her as she lay there.
Did their feet fall to one side? Did anybody fill up the whole bed? Was anybody tall enough? Did anyone open their eyes under the glasses? So I was thinking about that, and that sort of helped me to find that kind of wonderful place where you're sort of at the edge of deep sleep, and so you have a lot of visitations and images.
Whereas I had a lot of nothing. But then, when I went to bed that night, my bed, I did dream. A vivid dream that I was drafted into the military. I told Abramovich about it.
Well, how you explain that you remember that one?
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask you. Was like, do you think that sleeping in the dream bed has an effect on your dreams
Definitely,
later?
because you see, you start being conscious once the mind starts working, and you kind of bridge to subconscious, and you could remember it. It's working. But you see, you don't even trust yourself it's working. You should.
I thought the military dream might just be a one-off, but the next night I had an even more vivid dream that I was attacked by a vicious dog. I wrote the dreams down, and even though they were both nightmares, I found myself looking forward to the next one. It's like there were little ciphers, or as Abramovich said, little art pieces. I called her a few days later and told her how excited I was. She said, "You're my best customer."
That's Sean Cole, who tried out Marina Abramovich's Dream Bed exhibit at Boston's Rose Museum back in 2005. Coming up,
I call sandwiches Sannies, Sandoozles, or Adam Sandler's.
on Parks and Recreation, he played the too hip for his own good Tom Haverford.
Root beer is super water. Tortillas are bean blankies, and I call forks food rakes.
Now Aziz Ansari has become a word maker of a different sort. He's just ahead in Studio 360 from PRI and WNYC. Stay with us.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz was one of the first Republicans to announce that he's running for president.
Imagine millions of courageous conservatives all across America rising up together to say in unison, we demand our liberty.
A conversation with Ted Cruz about his new memoir and also the presidential campaign. That's on the next Morning Edition.
Tune in to Morning Edition weekdays on 93.9 FM, AM 820, and WNYC.org.
WNYC receives support from Applegate Natural and Organic Meats, made from animals raised without antibiotics or hormones, including all beef hot dogs made from grass-fed cows. More at Applegate.com. Applegate, changing the meat we eat.
WNYC is a media partner for Celebrate Brooklyn, open to all. Tonight at the Prospect Park Bandshell, pianist Jason Moran's Fats Waller Dance Party, along with Butler Bernstein and the Hot Nine. Details at brickartsmedia.org.
Studio 360 is supported by Curious.com, committed to helping people learn more than 15,000 skills like Mandarin, mobile app development, and mindfulness. Curious.com, grow your skills. Learn more at curious.com/PRI.
You're listening to Studio 360, and I'm Kurt Anderson. We've issued a new challenge on the show to high school students. We're calling it Funny Ha Ha. We've asked that talented teenagers out there try writing some humor or comedy. And to help you out, we invited BJ Novak to tell you what the first and last lines of your piece of writing or performance needs to be. So, listen closely.
The first line, the sun rose and everything fell. The last line, Alex stared at the door handle and slowly turned the knob. What happens in between those two lines is up to you.
If you need to check out those obligatory first and last lines again, you can at our website, studio360.org/funnyhaha. All the details you need are there. And you need to get your submissions in by midnight on August 3rd. DJ Novak's going to pick the winner. Speaking of actors on beloved old NBC sitcoms, you might know this guy as the Weasley civil servant Tom Haverford on Parks and Recreation.